Welcome to Keeping It Real Estate. Back again and better than ever, giving you the real guide to navigating this market. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. So today's topic is the advantages and disadvantages of selling to an investor. So we'll start with the advantages. Main advantage is that the investors buy homes as is. You do not have to do anything, no repairs, no updates. Sometimes that could be a good thing, depending on the condition of your property. They can also help you with foreclosures. They can make quick offers, usually cash deals, little to no inspections. In many cases, they're easier deals. They can be a lot more flexible. They can close in a week, they can close in a month, they can close in 90 days. Sometimes they're also willing to close the deal and rent it back to the homeowner so that they can have a little extra time to make a move, make a decision, and actually have the money in their pocket. So that's the certain type of investor that does that. Most won't. Most want to buy the house and they want you out the house. But, the really seasoned, the better investors, in my opinion, offer every option. What do you need for us to get this deal done? Paying cash is also a big piece. There's no appraisals. There's really, like I said, really limited inspections. It's really more inspections for major things. Sinkholes and, making sure roof, electric, plumbing, those are kind of the top four things. You got roof, electric, plumbing, AC, and structure, top five. Items that really you're going to need to, keep an eye on. And that's, as an investor, those are the main things that they're looking at. The cosmetic stuff is what they're looking for. They want a house that has good bones but needs cosmetic, nice neighborhood in many cases, and, the worst house in the neighborhood. They can usually also buy in different neighborhoods, right? So regardless of school districts and things like that, investors are looking to buy houses in good, bad, average, top, bottom, depending on crime statistics, stuff like that. Investors get involved in those. They're willing to get into those because in many cases they might be renting the property. A lot of those places may be better for rentals than they are for fix and flips. So, really the area means less to an investor, especially if they're, either going to wholesale the property, which is another piece of the investment, another option that investors have. They'll wholesale it to another investor to take on the project or to have a rental, or they'll take it on themselves. The quick closings is another big piece. It's a big advantage. You really can close usually as soon as title is ready. And that can happen, I like to be conservative. It can't happen in a day or two. I will say it could happen in a week to 10 days. Run all the title searches, get everything back. Nowadays, COVID, natural delays. Realistically, you're probably 1 to 2 weeks for a closing right now. So with all advantages, with selling to an investor, obviously there are disadvantages. I think a disadvantage number one is you're often going to get less than the market value. An investor has to make a profit. So they need to see some return on their investment, right? So they're going to pay cash, yeah. They're going to make it easy for you, yes. They're going to take the property as is. They're going to close whenever you want. They're going to expect a deal. Or else why is an investor even getting involved in the first place? So you're not going to get your top value when you're dealing with an investor. Always keep that in mind. My suggestion always is to try to sell it on the open market first. If you can't, open it up to investors. Investors have a stigma, right? They do not need a license to invest. And there's a stigma out there that they're playing games. And 9 out of 10 of them are. Many investors play games with you. Their goal is to get the property under contract. Once they have that property under contract and they have what's called equitable interest in your property. They have the control. You no longer have the control in your property. They can buy it. They can assign it, which is a piece of wholesaling. So they get it under contract for 100 grand and they wholesale it to the next buyer for 110. They basically never have to buy the property and they make 10 grand off doing that. That's the risk that they take, and the benefit that they have potentially to get is that they might be able to just flip the contract, assign the contract. That's a big piece of real estate that not many realtors have anything to do with, let alone do they even know what it is. So, you know, in my Patreon and on Reddit and things like that, I get into those topics a little bit further. Things like assignments, because that's a big niche that if you really are a seasoned player, you're going to get involved in assigning contracts. I don't care if you're buying, fixing, and flipping, buying, fixing, and holding. A part of your repertoire and a trick in your bag needs to be assigning contracts. Now, if you want to assign contracts, you have to have certain things. What those things are is a database. Almost very simply, you need a database. Every buyer, every realtor, every wholesaler that you know should go into your database so that when you get a property under contract, you can blast it to everybody and potentially sell this property very easily without ever having to buy it. I do that all the time for my clients. I market their equitable interest, and people are not up on this. So if you have questions, comments, concerns, let me know. Definitely hit me on the Patreon and, you know, like and share and subscribe and ask any questions you want. I'm always here to help and to mentor and to give guidance. So get back at me if you need anything. I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. It really helps the channel grow. For more content, head on over to my Patreon, where we'll go more in depth with topics, AMA sessions, as well as weekly discussions. As always, this is Keeping It Real Estate, signing off till next time.